Yeah, go for the, you want to open it up? Let's see what's in there. Can I see that? Wow. This is, I could use this. Are you getting it? No, I'm just kidding. Stand up and hold that up. I guarantee you we have not had that in the box. That is a tube of nail hole patch. You asked a great question. What's nail hole patch? So if you ever put it, wanted to hang something on a wall, and you've gone with your hammer and nail, and then you realize, uh-oh, that's not where I wanted it. And now you've got a hole in the wall. So you can use this and patch that hole in the wall, and then paint over it maybe. Or if you're really lazy, just hang the picture over it and not use this at all. I'm not saying that I've done that before. I'm not saying that I've done that before for holes that are bigger than nails. Nobody's ever coming to my house to visit. But yes, so this helps patch things up, makes things look like they're supposed to, because you're not supposed to have extra holes in your wall, right? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on the wall. Well, you know what? I think, let's talk about a different set of nails. So we all know what happened to Jesus on the cross, right?
Yeah.
He was nailed to the cross, right? That's pretty rough, pretty hard, pretty difficult. And we are very thankful that he died for us and rose 3 days later. But do you remember he came back to the disciples afterwards? And some of the disciples didn't even believe that it was him. They weren't convinced. One in particular, Thomas, right? And he said, I won't believe that Jesus has come back unless I see the holes in his hands and in his side. And he came back to Thomas and he showed him the holes in his hands.
My name is Thomas.
And Thomas believed, right? Well, how many of you have seen the holes in Jesus' hands? Anybody here? Nobody? But do you believe? We do believe. And that takes faith. But sometimes I think we kind of try to gloss over that. We kind of try to not remember that Jesus went through that difficulty. And I think we kind of pretend that he didn't have his nails put through his hands. Maybe we have our own kind of nail hole patch in our minds. And we don't remember that fact. And I think it's important to remember that Jesus did die on the cross for us. And that he did come back. And that he did go through those tough things. And you know what? I think if we remember that, we can have a better understanding that Jesus understands what's going on in our lives when things get tough. Because when things get tough, we know that Jesus has suffered far worse for us. And he would understand us. And I think maybe the next time I'm patching up one of those holes in my wall, I'll have to think about what Jesus did for us on the cross. But remember, it wasn't just the bad stuff. It wasn't just, the cross isn't the story of Jesus dying. The story that we celebrate is Jesus coming back. And that is the thing that makes that story so unique. But I've always found it interesting that he still had the holes in his arms, the scars from those nails, even after he was raised from the dead. Let's take a moment, let's bow our heads.